Hi there. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a different video than you might be used to from me. The whole point of this video, let me give you the point up front, and then I'll share a bit of a story of where I am and what happened today that made me want to shoot this video for you. So the whole point of this video is that you have to heal your past, or as we like to say in human design, decondition, if you're going to truly live your design. Now, I'm in the snow. We spent the last 4 mornings, big mornings, skiing here in Jindabyne. Here's where I'm staying. And I'm shooting this video with the equipment that I have. So if it doesn't look as nice and sound as nice as usual, my apologies. But I did want to share these insights with you. So settle in. We're going to have a bit of it is going to be story time. So if we haven't met before, by the way, I'm Carolyn Southwell. I have been coaching for 11 years, working with human design for more than 9, and doing various versions of tapping, including EFT, which I'm formally qualified in, certified in for the last 7. So I have been around the block when it comes to healing work, right? Now, something really beautiful happens when we do new things. Now, I have been skiing on and off in my adult life, but I haven't done a lot of it, and I still classify myself as a beginner, although I guess at this point I should really call myself intermediate, because I can get down a blue run without falling over too many times. So if you know what a blue run is, we'll be on the same page. But because I don't do a lot of it, it still takes a lot of conscious attention and energy to be able to get my technique right and be holding my posture correctly. And it's so beautiful, the insights that I have about what it looks like when we're trying to live our most authentic self, and as shown in our design, and as we know in our heart of what we want to be doing in our lives, and the role that all our old experiences, all our old pain play, how it all plays together. So my partner has done a lot more skiing than me in his life. So he has been coaching and correcting and helping me improve my technique. And it was so interesting for me to notice. Now I have to pause for a second. If you have been watching many of my videos previously, or consuming much of my content, you might know that I have a history of sexual assault in, experiences that I've had in the past. Now, I bring this up because it is such a common experience, not only for women, but men as well, where we've had an assault to the body that for so many of us causes a sense of shame and shut down, right? And that's important to know for the context of what we're talking about here. Now, what I do want to say is, because it's so common, if you find that you're listening to this video and you're like, that's too much, this bothers me, then just pause me and go and do something that makes you feel safe and good in your body, okay? You take responsibility for how you're feeling. Now, it was so interesting for me to notice that as my partner was improving my technique, one of the things he was helping me realize is that I needed to have my body, as I went down the mountain and I was turning, my body needed to be facing the front. And what I realized is, as I watched people who had really great technique, I watched my partner, I watched ski instructors, I watched ski patrol, I watched people who look really smooth, who were carving it up and doing a beautiful job. I realized that their chest was nice and high and proud, and their shoulders were back, right? And I realized that that is the physiology of somebody who is proud, and is the exact opposite physiology of somebody who feels shame, right? When we feel shame, we scrunch our shoulders down and we protect our heart. That's the point of our body doing this, right? So yes, I've had experiences in the past that have caused me shame. Now let's just go down a little rabbit hole there. When we experience an assault of any description, and for whatever reason, maybe we're a little person and the person who is attacking us is bigger, or we're a woman and we feel like we'll be overpowered or hurt even more by the man, right? Whatever the context is, whatever the situation is, our amazing autonomic nervous system first wants to fight or flee. So fight or flight. So it wants to fight, or it wants to like take flight, right? Now, if you are a person who has experienced any sort of assault and you don't feel like you can fight the person because you don't feel like you can overpower them, or you feel like if you fight, you'll get more hurt, this all happens at an automatic, very fast, below the level of consciousness. Like you're not consciously thinking this stuff, right? Your body is just doing it really quickly, automatically. So if that's off the cards, now some of us tend to default more towards fight. I tend to default more towards flight. I will run away from things. It's no surprise to me that I'm a runner, right? If you're also a runner, I hope you're giggling. Identify as a runner, a person who likes running. So flight. So if we can't take flight, so if I think about the first experience I had of what I would call sexual assault, without going into any of the details, I didn't feel like I could get away, right? I didn't feel like I could run away. I felt trapped, right? So what our autonomic nervous system does, if we can't fight, we believe we can't fight, and we believe we can't take flight, flee, run away, then it steps it up to the next sort of emergency level, the next survival level, which is freeze, right? Now, that's beautiful, because for so many of us, that freeze mechanism allowed us to survive something awful and then carry on for another day and another year and another decade, right? However, that freeze, all those things that we wanted to do, that mechanism to run away, that mechanism to fight, that's frozen in our body. You with me? Right? So the experiences that I had that caused me to want to protect my heart, caused me to feel ashamed, caused me to feel shut down, has literally caused my shoulders to close in very subtly. Now, most of the time I don't notice it until I go to the massage therapist and she tells me that my shoulder, that this whole area is really tight. And I notice it when I go to improve my skiing technique, and I realize, it feels really unnatural and really uncomfortable to have the correct physiology, to have the correct posture in order to ski well, right? So that's part one. Part two is the physiology I noticed in my hips and my pelvis. Right now, I'm going to move this for a second so that you can just see. But my default, I'm going to exaggerate it, but my default was to be like this, right? And you'll see this a lot if you've ever seen anybody skiing. They're, newbies doing this, where they're crunched over and they're bent down. And the correct physiology is the pelvis pushed forward like you're thrusting, right? So here's my unconscious automatic protection mechanism, because I've been hurt in this area, right? So it's so interesting to me that here I am doing this sort of new thing, this thing that is still not automatic for me. I still can't, I'm not unconsciously competent at skiing. And when I look at my human design chart, there are all these pointers for why something like skiing is a really good match for me. Why a challenge in the outdoors that requires me to use my body, that requires endurance. They're all markers in my chart for, oh yeah, of course, this person would like skiing, right? It brings me so much joy to ski. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do, to be in the snow and to ski. But my physiology, if I didn't know any better, would still be holding all of this stuff and would prevent me from being able to pursue this thing that I love and pursue it to a masterful level. So let me pause and look at my notes and see if I've shared the things that I want to share. It was so interesting to me today that if you know the stages of learning anything, you'll realize at first you're unconsciously incompetent, as in you don't know that you don't know how to do the thing. And then you move to a stage of conscious incompetence, as in you're conscious that you don't know how to do the thing, Now, I was already past that, and I was at the stage called conscious competence. Although occasionally I would slip back into like, oh, I can do a green run, but I look at the pitch of a blue run, which is the next step higher, and I go, I think I'm incompetent at that level to be able to safely get down that. I know that I am consciously incompetent when it comes to a black run, which is why I didn't go down any. But for me to move into unconscious competence, as in my body to unconsciously, automatically be able to competently ski all the way through to, say, a double black, like the hardest sort of skiing that's possible, the hardest routes, I will have to resolve the things that cause me to feel shame and shut down and protection of my heart rather than proud. The things that cause me to want to close in my hips and protect my pelvis, I'll have to heal that so that I can be fully open again, right? To be able to stand tall and proud automatically. So at some point earlier today, I had an experience of like I'm still becoming consciously competent at how to ride a T-bar. I've done it a little bit before. If you don't know anything about skiing, some of these references might have been lost on you. But a T-bar is more complicated to ride on. It requires some skiing ability more so than getting on a chairlift. And at the top of the T-bar, I fell off. And I won't go into the whole story of what happened there and how I moved through it. I might actually do a different video of that. So have a look in the description below this video, because I think I'll actually spell out how I use tapping to actually find nervous system regulation again to truly, genuinely move through that and calm down. But I went up the T-bar, I fell over, I freaked out, I got smacked in the head. It was scary and caused me to be angry and shocking and all sorts of things. And it was so interesting for me to observe my posture after that, because I had previously made great progress of starting to open up and become more conscious of how to move. And that experience that caused me to then it caused me to shut down again. My physiology reversed again into very quickly, very instantly reverted to this quote unquote poor posture, this protective posture. And so I had to spend the whole rest of the day trying to consciously remind myself of the things that I had been doing pretty well up until that point. So this stuff is going to keep getting triggered unless we go and heal the things that caused our body to beautifully, wonderfully want to protect us. So let's see if we can bring this all the way around again. Deconditioning, also known as healing fast, also known as resolving traumas, that can be done through many, it can be done many ways. So if you've got a great therapist or psychologist, you can do it that way. You can come and do tapping sessions with me. I'll put a link in the description. Sometimes I do group tapping. So that's a great way, a lower cost way. Or you can just look up all of the resources that I have done on tapping online, or anybody else who probably is certified, probably has been doing it a long time. There are so many beautiful resources online. So if you don't have the budget to be able to do it with somebody directly, then you can definitely start to make progress on your own. But if we don't heal the past, then the amazing future that is possible, that your human design chart shows you about who and what you can be and what you can do, and the blessed experiences that you can have in your life, those things will never get fulfilled. And today was just such a beautiful reminder to me of like just how much our body continues to try and protect us, and has done a great job of doing that. But while we're still in protection mode, we can't grow into the people we're capable of becoming. If this video was helpful, please share it with somebody who you think will gain benefit from it. And I'd love to hear in the comments, what was a key, like what did this spark in you? What things would you like to share? I'd love to read them.